let's do our first example of dimensional analysis. Here's the problem statement. The concentration of lead, abbreviated PB, in water greater than 10 micrograms per deciliter of water is a risk factor for lead poisoning. What is this concentration in units of milligrams of lead per liter of water? Let's do the dimensional analysis. So we start out by writing down what we know. 10 micrograms of lead per deciliter of water. And then what many people find helpful to do, and that includes me, is to write down what's given first, and next write down where you're trying to go. So we are trying to go to milligrams per liter. So the next step, let me get the pen. The next step, step 2, might be to write down these units so that we remember the units that we're striving to attain. Okay. All right. So if we do that, then we can look at our starting point, 10 micrograms of lead, and we look across to where we're headed. We want milligrams of lead. So we need to convert the micrograms of lead to milligrams. Well, we know that there are 1,000 micrograms for every milligram. So let's write that equivalency here. And by doing that, we are able to convert these micrograms of lead to milligrams of lead. And what happens with the units, it's important to track this, is we can now cancel out these micrograms with these micrograms, right? So now the micrograms are gone and we're left with milligrams of lead. So we've got the numerator units correct. Now we need to get to liters of water. Well, we're starting with deciliters. That's 1/10 of a liter. A deci means 1/10. So that means there are 10 deciliters of water for every liter of water. So I'll write that down. We'll cancel our deciliters. And at this point, we now have liters of water in the denominator. Perfect, that's what we want. Milligrams of lead in the numerator. Perfect, that's what we want. So now we'll just go do the math. We have 10 times 10 in the numerator, it's 100. And we're dividing by 1,000, so 100 divided by 1,000 is 0.1. In other words, 10 micrograms of lead per deciliter of water is equivalent to 0.1 milligrams of lead per liter of water. There we go. That's our first dimensional analysis. So here let's just take a look at these, the type of units here. We have amount in milligrams per volume, right, in liters. So this is one of those mass per volume or weight per volume expressions of concentration. Those, I think a lot of us are pretty comfortable, a lot of you are probably pretty comfortable with that kind of unit. There's another kind of unit, though, that sometimes people are less comfortable with, and that's a mixing ratio.